dealt with Capricorn in one of my later cases, but this was the first time in the Capricorn building. I mean, the exterior was impressive, but what I saw inside was dynamite.
Some woman, I'd guess. Well, from your choice of metaphors, I don't think I'm going to like this part of the story very much.
Want to pack? How may I help you, Mr. Murphy?
Weren't you in the Miss Universe pageant last year?
Yes. I was working undercover, investigating allegations of bra stuffing.
Well, that's good work if you can get it. So Capricorn has absolutely nothing to do with horoscopes, huh?
No, not officially. So what brings you here?
I'm looking into the suicide of a man who you investigated at the North Hill Clinic.
I read about Linsky's death. I was sad about it. But why do you want to talk to me? Take a seat.
Frankly, leads in this case have been harder to find than a good Pauly Shore movie.
I get the feeling you're not convinced that Linsky's death was a suicide. If that's the case, I would be happy to help you in your investigation. Carl Linsky and John Klaus together. This is extremely interesting. Do you mind if I have this photo examined? I'd like to find out exactly when and where it was taken. I'll let you know if I find anything out, okay? About a year ago, we were told that Mr. Linsky was conducting unethical practices on comatose and terminally ill patients at North Hill Clinic. I looked into the matter, but was unable to prove anything. Mr. Linsky voluntarily took a leave of absence, saying he had other projects to pursue, so we decided to drop the investigation. Klaus is a scary man. He has a lot of pull in the law and order party. I think he'd run for office if he could, but he doesn't have the image for it. Instead, he sits behind the curtain and pulls the strings. As the director of the clinic, he was understandably eager to avoid any scandal and was very helpful throughout our investigation of Carl Linsky. I keep hearing the word overlord, especially linked to the law and order party. I don't know if it's a person, place, or thing, but it seems to represent a lot of power. Capricorn's primary mission is to identify, then infiltrate organizations suspected of practicing extreme discrimination. These include everything from UFO cults to hate groups to unethical research scientists. Never heard that name before? Can't help you there. I don't have any information on that. We're putting a lot of our resources into investigating law and order. Their legal people make sure they don't cross the line publicly, but their ideology is pretty frightening to anyone with any intelligence or belief in human rights. Never heard that name before? Can't help you there. Never heard that name before? Can't help you there. I don't have any information on that. As you probably know, the clinic has an outstanding reputation. We were surprised when the allegations against Carl Linsky came up.
When I returned to Sonny's motel room, he wasn't there, but he'd left a letter for me taped to the door.
Listen, Mr. Murphy, I've been cooperative, and I've answered all your questions already. I'm under no obligation to help you any further.
You got me. You are a very stylish man. Did you know that? And I just came by to check out your ensemble. That is a very nice suit.
If I wanted a comedian around, I would hire one. Why are you here this time? John Klaus worked here before I became director. He was the top surgeon and left North Hill for a distinguished position at San Francisco General. I believe he may have performed Carl Linsky's surgery. I don't know who that is. The name is unfamiliar. I am sympathetic to the Law and Order Party platform, though I'm not a registered member of the Law and Order Party itself.
Tex, let me apologize for last night. The things I said were 10% depression and 90% alcohol. Hopefully there's something I can do to make it up to you. If there's anything else you need, just ask. John Klaus was an old friend of my father's. The last time I saw him, I was quite a bit younger. I'm not really interested in politics, but I can tell you my father didn't care much for the Law and Order Party. My father had some kind of run-in with them a while ago, but he didn't give me any details. I've never heard of her. Doesn't sound familiar. I've never heard of her. She's a hideous woman. If she weren't handling my father's will, I would have nothing to do with her. Doesn't sound familiar. That's where my father worked. He was highly respected in his profession.